Hold on tight for the next hour. You're entering into a place, a zone called the alternative to the alternative media. It's a place, a special place where even truth seekers fear to tread.
All right, people, let's move like we've got a purpose.
Affirmative.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races, colors, and creeds, welcome back to the greatest show on earth. Yes, the best, the tip-top, the one that stands out amongst everybody. Greg Anthony here on the Investigative Journal. Yes, and you know why I say that. My psychiatrist again told me to build up your self-esteem during this times of desperation. Everybody has a low self-esteem. We can't go anywhere. We're like children being scolded for something we didn't do. But anyway, that's what we created, folks. We're only as good as the people we put up there in Washington, D.C. I say, like Madonna, why not just go there and have a little party with them, I don't know anymore. Greg Anthony here. This is the greatest show on earth because it is better than, creating the wheel and not taking credit for it. Imagine if you were that man. And imagine if you were the Jesuits and not taking credit. It's better than not taking credit for creating socialism, not taking credit for fomenting wars like World War II, like World War I, not taking credit for killing Lincoln. They did everything under the sun to cover that thing up, and they didn't want credit for it. That's what we do here. We have a party, a COVID virus party every day, because it's gotten so crazy that, I'm allowing everybody else in the media, yes, all these crazy people in the media, to do their crazy job. Yeah, we have the mainstream media. It's better than listening to the mainstream media dribble on about everything under the sun, knowing that they are controlled by Rupert Murdoch of the Knights of Malta. This show's better than getting poked in the eye with a sharp stick. It's better than getting blown up with 2 kilos of dynamite before Ronald Reagan comes and then basically have a terrorist group say it was them when really it was the CIA. It's better, than... Oh, how about this one? I always have to bring this up because this is coming to America. Yes, it's better than African pastor Augustine Yiga, who's recently been jailed in Uganda for almost 7 years they can charge him with. Guess what he did? He said that there wasn't no COVID virus like this. They didn't need to close down the world, and he wanted his congregation just to sit in church. One world order, one world religion. It's better than the Pope. Yes, in the Pope sitting in Vatican Square, giving an exorcism with nobody there. Who's he exorcising, He's exorcising the demons underneath the pavement. They're all under there. He's got them hidden. Better than that. Better than listening him do an exorcism and then the devil raising his ugly head going, that's the pot calling the kettle black. And then guess what happens? The Pope goes, choo. He sneezes, and the devil runs for forever. Get away from it. He doesn't want to catch the COVID virus. And the Pope says, you didn't even say, God bless me. Well, we can't even say that anymore because nobody's going to stick around after somebody sneezes the whole time. Imagine being in a party and you sneeze. The whole thing clears out. You're sitting there by yourself. But anyway, this show is better than walking barefoot on a bunch of hot coals. Yeah, that's what I've been doing lately just to have fun. I mean, you can't go anywhere, so I decided that I am going to walk on hot coals, and it's really not so bad. It's better than being told I have the COVID virus and then not have it. But then again, everybody thinks they have it, so as Mike Pence said back on March 22nd, he said, something? 9 out of 10 people think they have it, but they don't. But if you think you have something, then you really have it. But then again, it's better than listening to the media go on and on. I was listening to the media the other day. And guess what? They announced, again, they told me when Mickey Mouse's birthday was. Yeah. Then they said they gave me Pluto's birthday. Then they gave me the Wile E. Coyote's birthday. And then they gave me whoever. They started going through every rodent and fake and made up character that they've ever done in the history of life just to fill up some radio time because nobody's listening to anything, Nobody cares about anything anymore. And that's the beauty to this. So anyway, they tell me Mickey Mouse's birthday again and Pluto's birthday. And I say, I don't care. I don't like that mouse. I never did like that fake mouse. And his ears are too big. And in fact, I don't care. Give him some poison cheese. Kill the mouse. I don't care. And then say he died of COVID virus. Because, I summed up. People ask me, Greg, sum up the whole story here of what's going on. You've been following this from day one, and you've been very nice to people. You've been giving everybody an opportunity to say their piece, realizing that we're in a time of distress, and people sitting home for like 300 days may start saying stupid things and doing crazy things, like jumping out of their window when they wake up instead of having breakfast, or maybe, just saying, I think I'll slice my hand off today just to do something different, and then see if I could stop the bleeding. That'd be a fun thing to try, wouldn't it? Or, other people may be a little bit more civil. They may just say, I think I'll go out and buy a fifth of whiskey and see if I can drink it in 3 seconds. See if I don't die. It's better than being told everywhere to go. And so here we are sitting home doing this, and I'm going, this is better. This show, just listen. Listen to what's going on. So the mouse, they're telling me his birthday every day. You think America has problems? I mean, if we worry about a fake mouse's birthday, then we got a serious problem, folks. We got a lot bigger things going on in the world. But, we're being taken care of. I summed it up really well the other day. And people asked me, what's really going on? I said, well, something. This guy was walking down the street, and he got hit by a 400-pound pig. Now, wait a minute. You've been talking about a 300-pound pig. I said, yeah, there's another one. It's the second one. It didn't go off the same building, but it was close. So this pig, 400 pounds, falls off, hits this guy in the head, kills him on the spot. He lays there for 3 days because no one wants to get near him. Then who knows what happened to him. He went to the morgue or something, which is now, they say, in a pickup truck. And the guy just put on his toe, COVID virus death. That's about what's going on. And that sums up the whole thing. That's how crazy it is. And another thing that's really good, this show is better because they're not censoring it yet. They think I'm nuts, so that's fine. And they're not going to censor it until you get 1 million followers or till you're a woman called Judy Minkowitz. Okay, I think that's how you pronounce it. She basically, you got to go to that video. She really levels Mr. Fauci and Mr. Gallo during the hoax of HIV. And now she's coming up with such great inside information that, is based on some truth about what the medical community and how they're screwing everybody here and really want to kill everybody. And everybody, it's better. The show's better because it's better than listening to YouTube and listening to Twitter and all these people censor people like her. You can't find that video anywhere. It was on. They took it off YouTube. It's a great video. And then they put it on Brighton, and I tried to get it there, and I couldn't. So you got to go to get it. It's embedded somewhere on Natural News. They put it there, and I lost that email. So anyway, that's what's really going on in the world. It's a big hoax, and we've tried to be fair. I mean, I've tried to give credit where credit is due. To the Pope, to King Trump, who's going to be nominated as the best actor in the role of President of the United States since the founding of this institution. Yes, he's better than Martin Sheen. Donald Sutherland, did he play the president? How many people played the president? It's real interesting. I know they had a black guy play the president when Obama was in. And that's the only news you're hearing outside of this you-know-what, is this little feud that Trump and Obama have. See, they're always fighting. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. They really love each other because they're in the same secret society, and they're from the same bloodlines, I guess, And everybody believes that they hate each other. They don't. And let me tell you something. From every president, no matter if they're Democrat or Republican, are on the same team. Yeah, it's not fair. It's them against us, and we don't have a prayer. We have more people, but then again, they have everything else. They have the military, they have the media, they have the government, they have the medical community now. Frightening, it's amazing, but they've come up with something that frightens everybody, and they've taken over the world within a matter of 2 weeks. But is there a hope? Is there a hope? Well, I'm going to give you an inside edition of Georgetown today. That's the new publication that has not hit the presses yet. But it's kind of like Inside Hollywood. And we've been tracking this TV reality show since the beginning. They've been doing these for years, but this one has hit #1 on all stations. I mean, you can't go anywhere and not listen to the COVID virus. The other day, I was turning on the Discovery Channel, and I said, oh, there's a beautiful show about Antarctica. And they're going to tell us that there's a little barber pole in Antarctica is there. And so I'm watching it, and then they're walking towards the barber pole. I'm saying, how does that barber pole stay there if it's upside down? How come they don't have it showing upside down if it's on the bottom? Oh, there's some scientific information out there, Greg, that'll tell you what's going on. Okay. I know, I've seen that thing. I've seen that Antarctica underneath that globe, and my whole idea, ever since I was a kid, I raised my hand. I said, Sister Mary, how can I stand on the bottom of Antarctica upside down and stay on the earth? And she said, well, son, you're going to have to go to science class. This is religion class. Okay, fine. But anyway, so I'm watching the show about Antarctica. They're walking towards the pole, and guess what? The first question was, do we have to wear masks here? Are we protected? Does the COVID virus spread here? I mean, everything's the COVID virus. You can go anywhere, ask any question about anything, Who discovered America in 1497? Did he wear a mask? Did Columbus have a mask on when he came? Did the COVID virus, did they have viruses? Do they really exist? But there is one hope. Inside Georgetown tells you exactly what's happening. Today we were there in that tunnel between Georgetown University and the White House, yes, where the director of the film crew and everybody come and they meet. They hand out the scripts for the day. And they gave, Fauci was there. He had been gone for a while. They thought he left on a slow boat to China. He was getting so much heat. They've been calling him every name under the book. Manchurian candidate, CIA operative, you name it. I gave all the names yesterday. The poor guy is going to have to see my psychiatrist and get straight here. And I never treat him that way. He's just a little guy. I mean, he's too small to be a jockey. I mean, I said that in the beginning. I said he should have been a jockey, and I was on the right track. But that's pretty nice compared to what people have found out about him. I mean, they're saying he's the devil, Dr. Dracula. He wants more blood. He's been doing this blood-sucking for years, they say. And, he's a perfect example of what we do on this show. And we say that, everything is orchestrated from the top, and most governments in the world work together, even though they fight back and forth. And most of our politicians who seem to be on different sides of the aisle and fighting all the time, actually it's a game. It's a script. And right now they're doing the reality show. But they also mention this. They go, come on, Chuck Schumer, you got to get a little more angry at Trump. You've been too nice. And then Trump's got to really, he's got a great writer. And I mean, he's always ahead of the game. And his writer is really good. Fake news. What else? Drain the swamp. I mean, the guy's got more cliches than, anybody, any president that's ever lived. And he's come across, he's this billionaire who comes from an elite, English royalty family. And he's trying to say he's like the man of the people. And the reason he says that is because he owns millions of, buildings, all in gold. But he basically goes down there and stands and understands the working man, That's how they portrayed him. And it's served well because people buy it. That's why he's going to win the Emmy. He may even be nominated for an Oscar. They may turn this into a film. Well, they already have these pandemic films out there. They're just grooming you for more. But anyway, inside Georgetown, in this tunnel, And I should explain it to you. They come there, and Georgetown U is kind of like the think tank. And I love to say that word because I'm constantly thinking, are they like little fish, these smart people in this little tank of water? Is it a water tank? What is it? An empty tank? Is it a gas tank? Is it a, I don't know, oil tank? Is it whatever tank it is? I've always tried to figure, but it's a think tank. That's it. And Georgetown really works together with the White House. They have been since the formation of our country, because most people don't realize that the Vatican influence in forming our country is great. I mean, that's why I do this show, to give them credit. I mean, they don't want credit. They want to stay behind the scenes, be secretive. And I guess it's because way back when, one of their Jesuit generals, right, not Slats Grobnik, the general of the Second American Revolution, which I will get to in the second half hour, our only hope to ever have freedom again in this country, because, folks, freedom does not exist. It's an illusion. These people are your owners. You have no rights. All you do is complain about them, and then you realize that there are none. And now they're going to be less and less, and they're going to take them away in the guise of this crazy medical fright problem. You walk outside, you cough, you're going to die. And you're not supposed to get near any people. How about the Austrian president? He said the other day they have what's called the love police there. I think each of these guys is trying to outdo the other. And they don't want you kissing in public. You can't hold hands anymore in public. People don't want to hold your hand, They don't even want to touch the doorknob. You ever see people now walk in? They kind of take their shirt, put it over their arm, and open the doorknob, as if you're going to catch the COVID virus from the doorknob. Or I saw a person the other day actually spray the doorknob with something, okay? Then I saw another person take the doorknob off and throw it in the street and push the door open. Then, outside of that, I saw this person blow up the door just to get in. I'm not going in there unless I'm touching anything, Then you go in the restaurant, and everybody is like 16 miles away, and you can't even get into a restaurant. But imagine when you can, the waiter is going to, have a blowhorn from the kitchen. Okay, table number 3, what would you like to eat? Well, maybe they're going to have robots. And maybe they're going to have those kind of menus now where you do everything on a computer. Why go out? I mean, this is ridiculous. You go out to be with people, right? People like people. Ask Barbara Streisand, People who need people are the luckiest people. You know what I'm talking about. Ask her about this. I mean, is that song ever going to mean anything anymore? Barbara, come to our rescue, But anyway, Inside Georgetown, they're in there this morning. I've got the script. Here it is. Okay. I'm looking at it right now. We got a copy of it. We took we had a little cell phone. We got a mechanical fly in that tunnel where they all meet between the White House and Georgetown. They can't find it, and that transmits everything. So I've got a copy, that was done, and I put it on a paper here, and it says this. It says, "Good morning. My name is film director, Jesuit father, Luigi Franconi. You know me well. And I've been doing this directing job on COVID-19 for so many months now. And it's getting a little tiring, so I may have one of my sidekicks, another Jesuit, come in and help me. But anyway, today we have a really big show for you. Yeah, a really big show. Remember Ed Sullivan? He's talking about Ed Sullivan. And he said, listen, I've been tough on you guys all this time. Fauci, you're taking a lot of heat. Trumpy, you're doing the greatest job in the world. But, I've told you a lot of times, people are starting to question whether you really are a man of the people by allowing Fauci on there. So let's argue more, okay, you two? And make it clear that you hate him and you hate Trump. And basically start saying things like, Fauci, you are a blood-sucking Dracula. And Fauci, you say to Trump that this orange-haired monster needs to be put away or something like that. Something really bad so that people will understand that you guys hate each other, but you can't fire them because of some stupid laws that the government has passed, and your hands are tied, Trump, okay? Can you do that for me? Because people are a little tired of the Adam Schiff, Devin Nunes. You're here today, right, Devin? You're doing a great job for the people in California, the conservatives there. But, they're getting a little tired of you and Trey Gowdy and all these guys saying there's going to be justice when we know it's not going to happen. It's already in the script here. No justice. Obama's never, that. You know the story. So we may just lay off that for a while because they're starting to understand that the swamp's never going to be drained. And Trump, by the way, how can you drain yourself? You're part of the swamp. You know that. You gotta, and basically tomorrow, we're gonna suspend normal script reading tomorrow, and you guys got to spend a couple more hours with me tomorrow because I'm bringing in an acting coach from Hollywood. They don't have anything to do now, and they're coming here, and we're gonna do a little bit of in-depth acting. You guys are getting old, rusty. You got to dig deep inside of yourself to find the evil, and then realize when you talk that it's all BS, and that you got to have a smiley face and really act like you're loving the people. But deep down inside, you got to understand the evil within you, and you're not doing it because it's coming across a little phony lately, especially these doctors we're hiring as crisis actors. I mean, people aren't believing them anymore. We did a survey. This is not out yet, but most Americans now realize they're being hoodwinked. So that's really what went on this morning. They're having acting lessons tomorrow, and this COVID-19 reality show goes on. As far as the particulars, you won't get them here because you can go everywhere. I mean, you go to the mainstream and listen to their BS. Then you can go to the alternative and listen to a lot of angry people. And within that, you're going to find some really good information. Put it all together, like in a big stew, and then figure out. And then come here and let's get it off our chest. What really is going on? I got a lot of this on my chest, I've always wondered, you're getting everything off your chest. We don't even have a chest left. If I got everything off my chest about what I want to say about this fraud, I wouldn't have a chest left. But anyway, is there a hope? This is what all people are wondering. Can we ever get back to normal? No. Do you think I'm normal? Do you think this is... Go back to some of my old shows. I was pretty serious at times. I threw a joke here, a joke there, but, I had a goal. I came on and I said, today I want to really pinpoint why the Duplessis orphans were taken out of a Catholic institution, were told that they were insane when they weren't, were put into a insane asylum, then they were drugged, tortured, and many killed by a Nazi doctor, and testing all of these drugs with the consent of the American government, the Canadian government, the Vatican, and then they were taken out in wheelbarrows and put in a hole and then buried, and they call it the pigsty. Then, to make things worse, they paved over it and made it a government institution, and that was the parking lot. I used to do things like that, but now people are going, well, did they wear masks back then? Did they? Was it a virus? Why? Maybe they were insane. No, they weren't. They were little kids that they basically want to experiment on, and it was the Vatican rat lines that brought a lot of these Nazi doctors, gave them passports. Americans helped, put them in places like Argentina, Canada. Many are living up in this little town in Idaho. I went to visit them a number of years ago. It's incredible. But that's what we used to do, but now we have to have a COVID virus party. All right, Greg Anthony here, back in 3 minutes on the Investigatore Giornale. Hope I got that note right.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app. for all of your mobile devices. Streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy Reality News app. Get it now.
Visit crosstheborder.org, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn, the Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
The following program is labeled dangerous and off limits by the supreme Jesuit command. But stand tall, people. Listen up, and you may just learn something.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races, colors, and creeds, even Dr. Fauci. You can listen today if you want, if you're not too busy sucking somebody's blood today. Boy, that poor guy. Greg Anthony here, the greatest show on earth. I say that only because we are. You know, that's what they tell me to say. You know, my psychiatrist said, Greg, don't tell the truth. Just be like the people in the White House, and you will do just fine. And you know something, folks? This is a whole big story about fear. Everybody's frightened now to go outside, to walk. You know, I was thinking the other day, I'm in this Kansas cornfield in the Coliseum, you know, the replica Coliseum, the only hope America has. And I had an email the other day, and they said, please explain more about where you're at. We don't quite understand it, how this idea of Slats Grobnik's, how he came up with, General Grobnik came up with the idea of the American Revolution, how he built this Coliseum to actually bring in hundreds of thousands of people to watch the Vatican Jesuit-led New World Order fight as gladiators. It was a beautiful idea, but people don't understand it because it's mixed in with this COVID virus nonsense. So I thought I'd take some time to do that. But in the meantime, I've got to tell you why this show's so great. You know? How about this one? It's great because it's better. It's my favorite one. It's better than we've forgotten about this, getting a call from John Podesta and Hillary Clinton, and they invite you to a spirit cooking dinner, and people go, what's that? I don't want to eat spirits. No. It's basically, you got to watch it. You got to see what they do. They go to the spirits, but this show's better than sitting at a spirit cooking dinner with Maria Abramovic, John Podesta, the Clintons, whoever else is there. I'm sure Donald has participated, but he can't say that. You know, he's got to do it undercover. and having them serve you red sauce with only white meat. Oh, no. And one person goes, I want some dark meat. The other person goes, I want some red meat. Oh, boy. These people, they're not satisfied with anything they get. They want more people, more deaths, more crime, more everything. And then they say they want to help you. For example, if you don't obey their stupid laws, now they're coming up with all this, the $500 fine, $1,000 fine, 2 years in jail. We're going to put you in, put you here, put you there, put you in jail. But then they're emptying the jails with people that are in there now because it's too dangerous. That's just one little thing they're doing that doesn't make sense. There's about 1 million of them, and we've documented many here. But since I have a goal in this half hour, before I tell you something about the Colosseum, I must mention that people are clamoring on this idea about a suicide channel. My idea, I think, nothing's really your idea. I mean, everything's been said before. I mean, we've been here for hundreds of years. You think you're going to come up with something new? Probably. It's just recycled. So we recycle words and ideas of others, and then we pretend that they're unique. And we all do it. So why not just say it right up front? We're all a bunch of hypocrites who believe the COVID virus is real, but really don't believe it's real. Then some people, but see, the ones that think it's real hate the people that think it's not real and will go out and try to cut their heads off. Yes, after they say, put on your mask. I will not cut your head off until your mask is on. Then the people that think these people are nuts say, you know what? They lack knowledge. If they knew what I knew, then everything would be fine. No, it wouldn't be fine. We've been talking, hundreds of years, people have been outing this Vatican Jesuit curse. We call it a curse here. This curse put on America and the world, but nobody's been able to do anything because everybody's a sellout. They realized that everybody has a price, so they figure if we can pay them off, if we give them some reason to join us, they'll be just like us, And everybody's doing it. So what chance do you have? Really, what chance do you really have unless we break the curse? That's the whole object of the Second American Revolution. We're not going to win with tanks. We're not going to destroy all their 5G towers. We're not going to bullet on Washington just like Madonna said. She didn't mean it. She's playing a game. She likes Trump, off the screen. But there's a better way. We have to look for the curse. There's a curse. Yes, there's a curse. And we're going to break it. That's what Slats Grobnik's genius was in the beginning of this whole thing. He didn't mention it. He couldn't, because you can't let your enemy know what you're doing. Now, the reason I can say it is because they think I'm crazy. So they'll just say, a curse. There's no curse. And anyway, how's he going to find it? There's only a little ragtag group. If he was like, I don't know, one of the big anti-this group, anti-that group, maybe then we'd have to worry, but not him. So I can say what I want. And anyway, so people were asking me about the suicide channel that was going to rival the COVID-19 TV show, the reality show. And I said, yeah, we're going to do it. And every day there's more people volunteering. Yeah, can you imagine? People know the truth, they have no hope, and they're going to just go on TV and kill themselves. I mean, we have to do that right, though, because we got to have mass suicides. Homeless people are already, prisoners, depressed people. There's so many depressed people now. We can really, maybe I'll do the COVID-19 death show. Isn't that really what it is? It's a show about death. It's showing all these deaths. They're counting them as if they know, when in fact they don't even know what. They create this enemy that may be dangerous, may not. It's just the fear. It's what's in your mind that really counts. And then they can take all the people that die and change it into a COVID virus death. And then they can say, we can't send you back to work. It's too dangerous until we do all the testing, invasive testing, until we vaccinate you and then kill you. Because these vaccinations, if you know what's in there, you are like saying, okay, cut my head off. You're saying, okay, take me to the gallows. That's really how they're working here. And it's working. So we on this show try to say, if we're going to go out, let's go out laughing. What other choice we have? Many people have their faith. Many people have everything. But with faith comes a little bit of realization that you can't really kill yourself with anger and hatred and everything, because that's what they want. They want you to go out with a pitchfork and try to knock down the White House so they can kill you. So don't do that. The only hope is really to break their curse, to break this evil occult spell that they've been in. And as far as people say, well, that's not funny, Greg, saying there's going to be a suicide channel. Well, is it funny to let them have this COVID virus channel, death channel, and you allow it? Don't you understand? People died before this. We're all going to die. But now they're making it, like they're counting everything. Then they change everything to the COVID death. They can pick out. Look, we know their statistics. 150,000, 200,000 people in the world die every day. So they can pick out a number of people and say, oh, that's COVID virus. And that's exactly what they did. I put a little video on my website of this Italian parliamentarian, Mr. Scarbi. And boy, he read them the Riot Act. His Riot Act. You got to go there. It's a 4-minute clip. I don't think there's one American politician that would ever do that. But at least he told the truth. But people don't know what it is. Because really, the truth is really stranger than fiction, folks, because fiction is somehow obliged. Like here, we do a lot of things, but we stick to possibilities. These people give you truth, but there are no possibilities. And people believe it. Because the bigger the lie, it spreads faster. The lie can go all the way around the world before a shoe... the truth even puts its shoes on, said my good buddy Mark Twain. Imagine if they were living today. Yeah. Anyway, before I could go on forever, so many things to talk about, all the new ideas about businesses that we can start. In fact, I've got 3 going right now. The French bowing school, where I'm teaching people how to bow to your masters, bow to your peasant friends, bow to the Pope, where you do a 180 and give him your butt. This is all stuff you need to do now, because you can't really meet and greet like you used to in America, like actually go up, shake somebody's hand, bump them on the shoulder, give them... Nobody even wants to touch knuckles anymore. So we've got a problem. So this school will help you understand how to do it right. Then, of course, I have my sword fighting school, which is going to go back to 17th century, 16th century sword fighting. And I'm not talking those little swords. I'm talking big ones like they used back in the time of King Alfred and all those, and the Danes. And teach you really how to handle yourself, because you won't have any guns. Not spreading violence, only self-defense. So, those are just a couple ideas I've had. I see that many, on the first day of the COVID virus thing, my first idea was, what? Drive-ins. People need to get out, and they're going to be in their cars. But they're now, and so I heard the other day, people are thinking of opening drive-ins again. Yeah, but then you got to wear a mask in your car now. That's a law somewhere. They don't allow you not to wear your mask in your car. You can't take it off anywhere. Don't take it off. You will be... That's showing disrespect to the king. Yes. Okay, I got 10 minutes. All right, so Slats Grobnik, I met him 25 years ago, maybe give or take a year, in a Chicago bar, Sam's Tavern. And he was at that time fighting corrupt politicians in Chicago. Mayor Daley, the Democratic machine, you've heard of them. They're long gone. Now, the globalists have taken over Chicago. But when I met Slats, he was looking for new challenges, so to speak. And then 9/11 came. And then he began this quest to get to the truth. And boy, the Bush administration, they put him in a gulag. I kept in touch. I was, in fact, the only writer that kept his name out there to get him some kind of justice. Well, one thing led to another. He had to escape. And because they didn't have a warrant on him and put him in the gulag without any constitutional rights and never gave him any put him in jail without any charges, told him to shut up, just like they did this Judy Mikovits. Go to she's telling the truth about these medical Draculas out there. And they did the same thing to her, ruined her life. And they did that to Slats, so I know what she went through. So, he snuck out. We figured a way to get him out of the gulag, and at that point, he was on the run for many years. I mean, he was in places, Jamaica. I was the only one who knew where he was. And then, of course, he contacted me one time and said, I'm building a replica Roman Colosseum. I said, oh, you mean like the one in Rome? The one I used to go walk through, it's half there and they're preserving it every day. The old Colosseum. He said, yeah. I said, oh, that's a great adventure. How are you going to do that? So that went on for a long time, man. He figured out he wanted to do it in Iowa, a cornfield. He figured, I'm going to hide it. I'm going to get it on private property. Big farmers still have land. I'm going to find farmers that understand that America has been taken over by an invisible enemy from within, and we're going to do this first as a symbol. And I said, well, a symbol of what? A symbol of freedom. And he said, I'm going to put the Vatican Jesuit-led New World Order, all their minions in politics, into this arena, and they are going to be the gladiators. And us people are going to watch. And I'm only going to charge $10. And it seats 100,000. I haven't started building it yet, but that's what it is. He had a vision. And then he watched. Of course, I said, did you get this idea from Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner? He said, well, yeah. All I remember was build it and they will come. And I was obsessed with that, he said. Every night he would go home, build it and they will come. Couldn't get it out of his mind. It was like Schumann. The great composer went crazy because all he heard was a C note at the end of his life. Every day it was a C note. And can you imagine for a conductor that does every note under the sun? It went mad. It's like me. I've been going mad the last 2 days. All I hear is follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick. I've been thinking that, I can't get it out of my mind. If it continues, I may go stark raving mad like Schumann did. But anyway, so he had this idea. He started, and I scuffed it off. I said, Slats, just cool it. Take it easy. They're going to catch you. And, we know who did this. We know the Jesuits and the Vatican and all these people work together, but it's America's long gone. Look at what they did in 9/11. Nobody, now 20 years have passed. Nobody even thinks about 9/11. You talk about 9/11? Oh, yeah, we didn't, how come they didn't wear masks back then when they were cleaning up all that, dangerous materials, when the first responders are all dying now? They didn't tell them to wear masks, did they? Forced them? Like they're forcing people to do this now when it's not going to do any good? So, Slats then continued, and to make a long story short, I love that one, What that really means, make a long story short, it means you're getting tired of telling the story. So I'm going to make it short for you. You're not thinking about the other person. Give me a break. People always say, make a long story short. I always go, make it longer. Go ahead. I want to hear the whole thing. Well, on radio, you only have so much time, so we're constantly making long stories shorter. So Grobnik, what he did was he did finally complete this Coliseum in the Kansas cornfield, where I am sitting right now, believe it or not, if you've been following our story since this COVID-19 fiasco began. And again, I hooked up with Slats, and I started writing because he had an idea. He said, I finished it, but now nobody's going to be able to come. So we've got to get rid of these people. That was it. And I said, well, why have you begun this quest to start a revolution? He said, when they stopped baseball. And then it clicked. Yeah, Wrigley Field. That was his home. He loved going there. You know, I used to tell him stories about the times we never met at that point. We were kids. But we used to sit in the right field bleachers and always go to double headers. Ernie said, let's play 2, Ernie Banks. So I said, yeah, let's drink 2. So we'd go there after we, when you're young and, a Chicago guy, you go and you buy a couple 12-pack and you drink a beer an inning at a double header. See if you can make it through. Those innings are long anyway. It's not like you're chugging 12 beers down. But anyway, those are the days when you had phony IDs. I remember I had an ID from Alabama. I was like 17, 16. You go into a bar, they look at you. Okay. All they were doing was covering their butt, Oh, he showed me the ID. You can't arrest me, officer. I'm the bar. I own the bar. And anyway, the cops at the bar, they don't want the bar closed because they had to have some place to go after work. So anyway, he built it. They couldn't come. And so he said, that's it. When they stopped baseball, he said, my slogan is, give me liberty. Oh, wait. Give me baseball or give me death. Then the idea happened. So I was the only one that followed him. And what that led to was me getting abducted. First by some cartels working with the Vatican Jesuits that didn't want me to publicize this. They took me, interrogated me, shipped me off with a box that I was supposed to bring to Slats, which I knew was going to blow up the Coliseum. So somehow I escaped a hotel. They took me to Kansas, escaped, and through luck, I ended up here. It took me a while. 2 farmers helped me. And at the time, I was to meet Slats here, but he then left to go recruit people for his revolution. And the recruiting was, he sent out 160 million emails and texts and got a couple million responses, and he thought his army was up and running. But they all said, we would love to join, but we can't go outside. We'll have to wait till the COVID virus orders are over. Stay-at-home orders are over. So I said to him, what kind of army is that? I mean, they're not going to fight. He said, well, put it this way. That's a perplexing problem. So he went out. And then all of a sudden, I'm at the Coliseum waiting. I've been here, 9 days? And guess what happens? I have this dream. It was kind of like Martin Luther King. Free at last. Thank God I'm free at last. But it was about this curse had been broken. He had figured out a way to break the curse. And the whole world was different. Everything was great. And as soon as the curse was broken, a mysterious Vatican flag appeared on all of the perpetrators' foreheads. They were all exposed. And in fact, they were like walking like in The Walking Dead to certain places where they said, yes, we will be gladiators. Yes, we have done wrong. They were all confessing. They were all changed people. Everything was empty. The White House was empty. The governor mansions, everything. And all of the Vatican Jesuit-led New World Order, Fox newscasters, everybody appeared with these Vatican flags on their forehead. You know how they appear on Ash Wednesday with the little ashes on their forehead? It was similar. So we didn't even have to really do a heavy tracking, tracing, and testing to find out who they were. And it was like, oh, then I woke up from the dream. And I said, oh my God, I started crying. But I said, maybe that's what he's thinking. And so I sent Molly the pigeon. That's our communication. We understand they bug everybody, but they can't bug the pigeons yet. We check Molly every day. But Molly's here. No, she's on her way. She's gone. I'll tell you that tomorrow. But anyway, so I send her with a message about the dream. I get back a message from Slats. He says, we're both of like mind. I'm working on breaking the curse. And you know what? Tomorrow, folks, I'm all out of time. I'm going to read you that message that he sent me because we were thinking the same thing. He's working on collecting everything to break this curse. And I'll tell you where this is going to lead us. It's exciting. And if we can do that, we may just win. And people go, well, what do you mean a curse? Well, how do you think they took this place over? It's an occult. They believe this stuff. And they basically created America for a hidden idea. You see, that's how they work. Tom Hanks knows it. And in the dream, he had one of those things on his forehead, the Vatican flag. So did Trump. See, I told you. Obama, too. All of them. Bush. They all had it. And it was only a dream, but man, it was beautiful. A world that you can actually make some sense out of. Logical sense, not what's going on today, which makes no sense. And I said to myself, I can't take it anymore. No baseball. This is ridiculous. So basically, folks, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to turn on a doubleheader from the Cubs, and I'm going to pretend I'm at the game, and I'm going to get out he left me Old Style. I'm going to get a 6-pack of Old Style beer, 12-pack, and I am going to drink a beer an inning till I get that message back from Slats. Okay, and I'll see you tomorrow. Come here. The American Revolution is in full swing on the Investigatore Giornale.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.